Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम। विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की नवदीप मायापुर धाम की श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज. All glories to Shri Guru and Gaurang. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swamini Ji Namane. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Canto 3rd, chapter 5th, text number 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yena Prajanam Uta Atmakarma Rupa Abhidhanam Cha Vidam Vedata Narayana Vishwashuka Atmayoni Etat Cha Naha Varnaya Vipravarya येन प्रजानामुत आत्मकर्म रूपाभिधानां च विदां व्यतत नारायणो विश्वसुगात्मयोनिर् एतेच्छ नो वर्ण विप्रवर्य येन प्रजानामुत आत्मकर्म रूपाभिधानां च विदां व्यदत् नारायणो विश्वसुगात्मयोनिर् एतेच्नो वर्ण विप्रवर्य येन प्रजानामुत आत्मकर्म रूप अभिधानां च विदां व्यदत् नारायण विश्वसुगात्मयोनिर् एतेष्नो वर्णय विप्रवर्य येन प्रजानात्मकर्म नारायण विश्वसुगात्मयोनि एतेष्नो वर्ण्य विप्रवर्य येन प्रजानाम् आत्मकर्म विप्रवर्य येन प्रजानामुत आत्मकर्म रूपाभिधानां च विपाद विवत नारायणो विश्वसुगात्मयोनिर् एतेष्नो वर्ण विप्रवर्य. Anybody else from the Prabhus? Yena prajanam uta atmakarma रूपाभिधानां च विदां विदता नारायण विश्वसुगात्मयोनिर् वर्णय एतेष्नो वर्णय विप्रवर्य. माताजी येन प्रजानामुत आत्मकर्म उपाधिनानां च विदां यदत् तेष्णु वर्ण विप्रवर्य प्रजानामुत आत्मकर्म उपाधिनानां च विदां यदत् नारायण विश्वसुगात्मयोनिर् तेष्णो वर्णाय वर्ण येन प्रजानामुत आत्मकर्म उपाभिधानां च विदां यतत नारायण विश्वसुगात्मयोनिर् तेष्णो वर्णये विप्रवर्य What word meaning? Yena, by which? Prajanam, of those who are born. Uta, as also. Atma karma, destined engagement. Rupa, form and feature. Abhidhanam, endures. Cha, also. Vidam, differentiation. Vyadata, disperse. Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishwashuka, the creator of the universe. Atma Yonihi, self-sufficient. Etat, all these. Cha, also. Nah, unto us. Varnaya, describe. Vipravarya, O chief amongst the Brahmanas. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. O chief among the Brahmanas, please also describe how Narayana, the creator of the universe and the self-sufficient Lord, has differentially created the natures, activities, forms, features and names of the different living creatures. Purport. Every living being is under the plan of his natural inclinations in terms of the modes of material nature. His work is manifested in terms of the nature of the three modes. His form and bodily features are designed according to his work, and his name is designated according to his bodily features. For example, the higher class of men are white, Shukla, and the lower classes of men are black. This divisions of white and black is in terms of one's white and black duties of life. Pious acts lead one to take birth in a good and highly placed family, to become rich, to become learned, and to acquire beautiful bodily features. Impious acts lead one to become poor by parentage, to be always in want, to become a fool or illiterate, and to acquire ugly bodily features. Vidura requested Maitreya to explain these differences between all the living creatures made by Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunvitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savdutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayati Girim Yat Krupatam Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivikas Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vanchakalpatirubhesha Krupa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are going through the chapter Vidura talks with Maitreya. So here Vidura is asking this Maitreya that to describe about how the different natures, activities, forms and features of the living entities are formed. So like this is formed like with, if you see the nature of different people, they vary. Even in like if you take around 4 miles around from Atlanta temple, so we'll see different kind of people, you know. Their features will be, some will be black, some will be brown, someone will be whitish. So like that, different features, then their way of living, their hairstyle or whatever, with the way they walk, the way they talk, all this differs, isn't it? Like in India, we can just recognize, like the way he speaks, like my mother tongue is Marathi, so the way he speaks Marathi, so I can judge, he's from Pune, or he's from Mumbai, or he's from Bombay, so like that. So these different natures are formed. So that is formed according to the jiva's karma, actually, in his previous life. So, means it's been decided, like this jiva, where he is going to be born, or where, at what point he is going to die, everything is decided. So it's like he is under the preview of the material nature. Like we all have seen this picture of, in the Bhagavad Gita, one man killing other, and there are strings tied. So that man is forced to kill that person, because it's, the laws of nature are working here, and maybe not, but normally he has killed him, or they are enemies in their previous life, and that revenge mode is continued, and material nature facilitates that. So this all nature, then the activities, forms, features, this comes under all, this, the way the jiva has acted in his previous life, whether he has acted pious, impious, or a mix of both, everything. So this all works. So Prabhupada here mentions the different, like he has differentiated in the purport that different categories of people, like, so no offense to anybody who is black, or anybody who is, no glories to him who is white, but then this is eternal truth that is mentioned. Like in India we see, we also see that, like some people, by their behavior we see, that we get to understand that from where he is coming actually. So this differentiation is because of whatever piety he has done. So he has got this. So there is no like the Lord is not like partial. Why he has given us such feature, or why he is beautiful, or why he is rich. Example, we have this two brothers, Anil Ambani and Mukesh Ambani. These two brothers. So they both were given equal property. In fact, there were fights among them. This is the richest family in India. So there were fights going on between them, and then by intervention of their mother, the division happened. So this elder brother, he accepted whatever his mother told. And the younger one, Anil Ambani, so he specified that this companies I want, and this I want. And then his elder brother agreed that this company I want, this much. And on top of that, he was given 2,300 crores apart from whatever distribution has to happen. And what happened? In the span of time, they went further, and he worked out various plans in the telecom sector, and he was the second richest person in India or in Asia at certain times. Then came a point where he did his activities with one Singaporean telecom company, and slowly his downfall started happening. The younger son of Ambani I'm talking about. And then at this point in India, he is a bankrupt. In the court, he had to say that my wife is taking care of me, or else he will be in jail. So, or he's Ambani's son, that's the reason he's outside. And the elder son, Mukesh Ambani, whatever plans he's working, they are successful. Everybody wants to work with him, Google wants to work with him, or any other big company, all Disney, all of them want to gel up within him and work on. So they both got equal amount of wealth. But then what happened? Because of some, maybe we can say in material terms it is impiety, or in spiritual terms we can say it's piety, because of which he lost his wealth, and then he must be thinking, why this is happening to me? Whatever happened, I could have done this thing. So many delusions, so many things must be working in his mind. So that is also because of his previous activities and acts in this life. But in this life he acted because the way the material nature made him to work. Like both of them worked in the same feature, same means telecom companies, they both dealt. But then once plans are so successful that it is growing on. And why he's failed? Because material nature made him do certain things by which maybe on the spiritual terms he inquires, and someday maybe he reads one spiritual book, maybe Prabhupada's book, and some way he's forced to do these things. In spiritual terms, we see that. In material terms, we may say, oh, he's such a richest person, Dhirubhai Ambani. So this all differentiation happened because of their karma. And material nature facilitated that. In the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes that all this, the 5 things out of that, like the jiva, the Lord, the material nature, time and karma, what is that? What is eternal, non-eternal in this? Anybody? Karma. Why?
Because Krishna can change it.
Krishna can change it. Yeah, Krishna can change. How come Krishna can? Like, Krishna can change for a devotee, he can do some changes. Because anybody else want to try? Yeah.
Because it's of a temporary nature, it's always changing.
Yeah, it is temporary, so it is non-eternal, but then why?
It's dictated by the modes of material nature.
Because, see, the jiva has the free will, and according to that, he can take whatever actions, Like, you have the free will to use this knife to cut vegetables for Radha Shyam Sundar, and with the knife, one can, cut somebody's throat also. So, then you have the free will. So, if you change your karma, like many people meet devotees, and if they are willing to change, okay, I like this man, and whatever he's talking makes sense. And at that point, he's ready to accept that message. So he may be a meat eater, he may be a beef eater, whatever he may be. But then he accepts that, that the super soul's message or interaction with him, or his devotee's interaction, he's accepting. And he's ready to change his karma. So that's the reason that, all other things are eternal, and this, you can change it. Means on the way you use your intelligence and how you act in accordance with the super soul, or you just reject it. So that's the reason karma can be changed. So material nature is there to facilitate this thing, and time is, the judge for all these things. Means under the preview of time only your all karmas recognized, and according to that, you get whatever nature you get. Then about activities, they are also formed because of what karma, whatever activities we are doing in this life, they make our future. Like you are into spiritual life. So you all are getting facility to hear to Bhagavatam, to get to read books, to honor prasadam. To honor prasadam or to just eat it. Whichever way you can differentiate. Yeah. So many facilities are there. You have the same amount of time. But one progresses and the other, he's not able to progress, or he goes downwards. Some people you see that I know one person who was in our Pune temple, and sometimes we have Karmi names, like his name was Dickinson. So they gave him name Damodar, and he used to attend Mangal Aarti and do regular all the services related to temple. And suddenly what came to his mind, I don't know, and he started working in a call center. So, and by the will of the Lord, somehow I also work in the same company. Like I joined later, and one fine day I met the same Damodar with shika and small hair. So I've seen in the temple, and I used to have conversations. And then later I didn't see him, and then later I met him in this company where I was working, and there I saw this Damodar totally change. He used to wear knee-length jackets, and we had an Indian movie where the hero has this one strip in between. So he also did like that. It was called Gajni Cut. The movie's name was like that. So he was there, and one day I found him, going into the smoking area, and just check he's smoking also. And I met him at the prasadam table, and there he was eating, and he said that eating onion and garlic, and I said, what happened? He said, like doctor has prescribed and something like that, and later he indulged with a manager in the company, and so like everything he broke, So like, so he got this facility, but actions he has to take. He was acting according to scriptural injunctions, and in the association of devotees he was doing good. But then what happened? He listened to his mind. He gave up, like Ajamil. He could, he saw this, Shudra and Shudrani embracing each other and kissing each other. And then Ajamil could just, at this moment, he kept on seeing this act. Instead of that, what he could have done, he could have left that place. Means when he got this knowledge that how lust is one of the things that takes you to hell, if whatever scriptural knowledge or whatever he learned, if that he had applied there, so there he had this free will, isn't it? That free will he didn't use in a proper way. Means he didn't acted the way the Paramatma was guiding him. That he had to just move from that place, and that's the way he could have just avoided that thing. But what happened? He acted according to his mind, not listening to his intelligence, or his mind had become weak because of whatever ways, maybe he didn't abide by the laws of, scriptural laws or whatever he knows. So, and then at the end of his life, till the end of his life, he was indulged with that prostitute and had number of children with her, and somehow by whatever activities he did previous to association with this prostitute, he got this, means some sukruti, agya sukruti, means some kind of piety, spiritual piety, basically because he was inspired to remember his son. If like somehow he was attached to his son, and then like I remember my son's name is Kunj Bihari, so like various times we repeat, Kunj Bihari, come here, Kunj Bihari, don't do this, Kunj Bihari, eat, why are you doing this, Kunj Bihari? So many times in a day we remember, isn't it? So that's the reason, like previously in India there are spiritual names, Gansham or like Venkat, or Vishnujit Prabhu's name is there, Venkat Raman, something like that. And various names, my mother's name is Saraswati, and like different names, or sometimes it's like Vitthal, or so many names we have seen. Gujarati they have Dwarkadish, South Indians they have Ramakrishna Iyer, something like that. So somehow or other that culture and that activities, or because they had scriptural knowledge, but nowadays then what is happening in India, we are seeing like weird names, Dimple, Honest, and Gabriel, and so many different names, So this all is, because they are giving up on scriptural injunction. They feel that this is backward, and they are getting converted. We have in Gujarat like Ghansham Parmar. Now he is a Christian. So we met such people in the company, and he said, Ghansham Parmar and Christian, how come it is? So we know that either he is given some money or good job, or some some alluration he is given so that he gets into this act. Again, like most of the conversion in India is like that only, like Christian conversion or anything like that. So means every jiva has a free will, and whatever way he acts using that free will, whether he listens to the Paramatma, or whether he listens to his mind, or whether he listens to the association he is into, that define his activities. And the forms that we see, different, like in India we see South Indian, North Indian, Gujarati, Marathi, Punjabi, so they all, their forms are different. Their way of eating, living, or whatever, associating, it's totally different. Like Gujaratis, example, if you see Gujaratis, they are like very sweet talkers, and once you do something to hurt them, immediately they will keep it for lifetime in their mind, So So better, whenever you're dealing with anybody, you should, if you know his nature, so better be cautious in dealing with him. So like with Maharashtrians, we see that, okay, whatever, they may fight, they may, take it in like they may feel bad, but then immediately they will forgive you and then they will accept. North Indians are like, they have Kshatriya spirit. So if in North, many times, small fight happens, he removes a gun and shoots. Lord, UP, Delhi, then Haryana, this they are fearless people. Even the Punjabis, they say that they have, you see, a khanjar, they wear a weapon. So, if once they remove, some blood they have to give up. Whether it's own, I don't know whether it's own or somebody else, but that is the spirit, And Gujarati is like, you see, we see their nature, Wherever they go, they immediately they catch the knack, and immediately they get into the act of business and they are successful. We have these Patel brothers, or Charandi Prabhu's favorite place. So, why they are successful? Because they are very fixed with their money. They will not waste money. When they have 10 rupees, they will try to spend 1 rupee or 2 rupees and 8 rupees they will save. We see Gujaratis, I stayed in Baroda, so we see Gujaratis in Baroda. So all year you will see them simple clothing and all this, and when festival comes, oh God, he's like a king or a queen, wearing the best ornaments and best clothing, and we see in the whole year like a pauper he was living, and now, on the wedding day, and then you know him, but the same person you will meet and he will not even talk to you then sometimes, because that clothing has come into his ego, and so we see this. Prabhupada mentions that one person was there when in India plague happened, and they were giving, like he was a pauper, but from the business background, something like that, and they were giving money to get killed rats, means rat, because of rat plague happens. So this person, he got a dead rat and he gave to the government, and he got some money, maybe half a anna or 1 rupee, whatever he got. Then from 1 rupee he purchased something, then he sold to another people, and then later he was the richest person. So Prabhupada mentioned this. I don't remember exactly, whether it's in Leelamrut or somewhere. So even this Ambani is what I told about, his father was into a petrol attendant, and now they are the richest family and in first 20 people around the world, they come in, the richest people. So the thing is, their activities are aligned according to their nature, and like that is, it said, Krushi Goraksha Vanijya iti Vaishya Sabhav. Then, like previously, Vaishya had this duty of what? Krishi Goraksha, means producing food grains and all agricultural related items, so that the general masses get to nourish their bodies, and via that they can continue their bodies and then use it as a tool to get spiritual realization and attain the goal of life. And Krishi Goraksha, then they had to do even protection of cows. That was their duties. Iti Vanijya Sabha. So, but nowadays, this all we see that they are successful in business. But then they are, like we see in India, like Gujaratis, they have a kirana store, and then they sell even mutton masala and chicken masala and so many dog food and so many ugra karma they are doing. So they are not Vaishya, they are Shudras actually. Like in Kali, it said Kalo Shudra Sambhavat. So this, whatever activities you are doing, that activities are responsible for what you are served in your plate. Like if you overeat today and you have diarrhea, and tomorrow then it's a feast. So there may be various items, in the platter next to you. But then you will be eating maybe curd rice and little salt, sprinkling on that and eating. But then you overeated over here the previous day, or you over-enjoyed. So material nature is facilitating you to do activities. Maybe you can, like, everybody is like the Paramatma, every time he is trying to help the jiva. But then the jiva has to do this activities, good or bad, using his free will. The Lord is not forcing him to do anything. Then we say that the material nature is forcing him, but then material nature is forcing because he desired. Once this, like if you give a pig halwa, okay, what is gajar halwa or any halwa, pineapple halwa, and if you give him, he's not going to eat that, but he'll go and munch some stool, isn't it? But that same jiva is in a human body. Did he eat that? Maybe we don't know. In some countries, like I read somewhere they use this urine for as a, what do you say, after shave lotion or something they use. Or we don't know, in China or Japan they may be ending up doing all these things also, So, but as a jiva, whether he was eating in the human body, no. Even if he was hungry, like he can't think of that, isn't it? But then as a pig, he is eating that. Because to get a pig's body, he has acted in a way like a pig in a human form. Like sometimes some people, they like certain things and they will eat for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days also. Of course, as Krishna's devotees, we also eat maybe next day. But then it's with that understanding that this is the grains and that should not be wasted, and in that way we also utilize that. But the person, he's eating that, maybe even it is spoiled, he's eating that after 2 days, 4 days, and because he's attached to that food. So he is making that mentality in that previous body only. So we see sometimes, the male, female are too attached to each other. Like if you see, like we have seen in India, like we have seen people getting married and staying for long with each other. And sometimes if you see the man and woman, their features match, The man is looking at the woman and the woman is looking at. So naturally what is happening exactly, Because of their attachment, they are, in the verge of exchanging their bodies and their mentality to serve each other and all these things. But then again, if their activities are not good enough to become a human being, then what happens? There may be a pigeon or maybe a dog or a cat, and they may be still attached to each other. Like Guru Maharaj says that you wanted to be a leader, or you are a leader of group of men, and somehow, because of your ugra karma or something, you get into a dog's body, and then you can get to become a leader, but then you'll be a leader of dogs. In India we see, you don't see over here maybe how he is the leader of dogs. In India there is, some dogs staying in this area, and some dogs in this area. These dogs come to this area, and one of their leaders come, the others also, they don't have that courage, but then this leader, they know that he will protect us. So we have, every country there are leaders, that they are acting like leaders, and they try to protect their borders and so many things. So whatever activities the jiva is doing, he is preparing for his future actually. So if we are acting here, being among devotees, if we are acting in a Krishna conscious way, or if we are not acting according to that, with devotees and with our activities, then we are losing that chance, And then slowly, we may end up becoming a karmi, like this example I gave of one of our devotees. So these activities, we should be very careful of, what we are doing. Like devotees are very dear to Krishna, so better be careful with dealing with devotees. Like sometimes we have that some devotee is not there, and then we speak about him and so many things, or we mistreat some people, or we are like not equipoised in our dealings. So many things happen. Like recently in Patna in India, they had a big fight among devotees. So of course one of them was doing illicit activities, and the others, they pointed at him, and then one fine day, they formed a rebellion group and they came there and they were beaten, and so many things happened. It was all over the media in India, but then your dealings, whoever is wrong will be dealt by material nature. So you may sustain for some time, or certain time you'll get to correct that. But then if you don't correct that, then the downfall is for sure. So the activities, whatever we are doing, we should be very careful about that. Because the form that we are going to get, or the family we are going to get into, where we may not get this intelligence or not get this culture or whatever, or the association we will get, bad association, this all is, or the features that we are getting to, that all is because of our own karma. So the Supreme Lord is not to be blamed for this. And that ways we see differentiation. Even in animals we see differentiation, isn't it? Like the cow has a nature where even, she will die, but I have not seen a cow eating meat, or a tiger eating grass. Don't know, in Kali Yuga future it may happen, because nothing to eat maybe. So, but its original nature is like that. So that nature is formed because of the karma that he has got into. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that sometimes the bodily features are different, or the color is not so attractive, or whatever it may be. So that is because of the activities we have done. So maybe somebody is born in a rich family, somebody is born in a poor family. Among devotees we see, like Vamsi Prabhu. Like we all know he is from the Ford family, so he is born in a rich family, and he is helping to build the Mayapur temple and so many things. But then, somebody is like, he is just struggling with his daily funds and so many things. Like we see in India that there are devotees who are like staying in normal hut and still practicing devotional life. So this all differentiation the Lord has not done actually. This is because the jiva, because of his previous activities, he is getting that. So it's like in your credit card, somebody, he might be having $100, he may be having $500, he may be having $10, So according to that, he can spend. So according to the credits of your karma, you are being served. So this again goes further, like this division happens according to nature. Like we see in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, the Lord says, Chatur Varna Maya Shushti Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So that according to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of the system, I should know I am the non-doer, being unchangeable. So, the different natures that we see of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they are formed because, of course, material nature facilitates that. But this is formed by the jiva's association with the different modes. And the four divisions of human society are created by me. The Lord says it is created by me. But then, this is formed because of the jiva's association with material nature. So like, it's like, in water, if you put a drop of yellow, some color, so slowly you see the change of color. Or if you put red liquid in that, so that becomes red or blue, isn't it? You make halwa sometimes, so we put orange color or green, or somebody likes red. So then according to that we see the difference in colors. So similarly, material nature is there, and the jiva on the platform of body, what happens? He comes in contact with the material nature, and then according to the three different gunas he acts, whether it is sattva guna, rajogun or tamogun. So according to that, there are different actions that we see. That one more important thing in this verse, in the 18th chapter, 14th verse, the Lord says, the places of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endure, and ultimately the super soul. These are the 5 factors of action. Hmm? So he's telling that the place of action, the body, means this body we can use, and according to that we get the karma served for us, isn't it? Like this body I can use for playing kartal, I can use for smoking. This hand I'm talking about example. We can use for singing the Lord's holy name and playing kartal, and with this I can smoke, but then, so the body is one part of that action. Then the performer, one second, the various senses. So various senses are indulged into that, and many different kinds of endure. So for getting any spiritual thing or material thing, we have to do endures. We have to take certain actions. So according to that, ultimately the super soul understands that, and if we are adamant to do certain things, if we are adamant to do sins, or if we are adamant to do any activities that are spiritual in nature, then the super soul, he is the one who facilitates that. Means he sanctions that. Like if you are like in childhood, we are adamant that maybe we want this. We had a fair in India, and we want this toy, and then if you are adamant, very much adamant, and if we are sleeping on the floor in front of all people, and then what happens? The father, out of love, that my son, he is doing some foolish activity just to get that thing. So what he does, he gives it out of love. So we remember that once Prabhupada had been to such fair, and he had one gun in his hand, and he says that, I want one more gun. Then his father asks, why do you want? I want 2 in my 2 hands. So, so he was being adamant, and finally father has to agree. So, like the way the father, he facilitates or he agrees with, his son. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, he also, that Jiva wants to use his free will and do sinful activities or devotional activities, then he facilitates him. Like if we are not reading, and if you want to, but we are craving that we should get into this habit, so what happens? Somewhere we get to listen about that, why we should read scriptures, and what is the importance of that, or we get the association of such a devotee where, means we are eager, means according to the way we are desiring, the Paramatma facilitates, and that we get into such association where that habit is cultivated. Like sometimes, in our college days, like if we may be observing our friends smoking, and then, we feel, oh, so it's so stylish, he smokes in the air, make big rings. You've seen that? People make rings and so many things they do. So, and then movies are there to, influence us. So we get, so whatever we want to do, that comes into our platter somehow or other. Because that is our desire. So, like in our India, there was this one superstar, he used to pull the cigar like this and hold it. So I liked him very much. And one fine day, in my classroom on the final bench I was sitting, and I took this one small pencil that I was trying to hold it like him. And in the second attempt, it went inside. So then, means if I see it now, Krishna wanted me to curb that habit, that I'm getting from that film star or whatever. He used to, Rajnikant, all South star. So he's like putting cigar and he's lighting and so stylishly, and I was trying to imitate him. So I was trying, then in the future I was trying to make this nature to get into smoking or something, isn't it? That was maybe the psychic behind my activities. But then Krishna, what he did? He let that pencil go inside, and then I started putting hands in inside my mouth and trying to, then I was scared, and then I told my teacher, and then somehow my sister or in the same school. They called her and then he has swallowed pencil, take him to, and then took me to the doctor. And then, of course, because of that, I got some fun because that time I was not a devotee. So my parents, they took care of me. They made good items for me, took me to the movie. But then the doctor said that every day you have to see whether the pencil is there. So whenever you pass, so they should tell me to have bananas. I don't know whether it came out or not. So this thing happens. But then the reason you see, the Paramatma was trying to, stop me from doing that. Another thing that happened in my life that I like this doing cooking very much. And so I choose this stream called hotel management. Like we have computer science or chemistry and physics. I choose the art of cooking, But my father being an engineer, he said, what, you want to be a waiter? I'm taking this hotel management. And finally I brought that form and then I tore that and left. And later I took to engineering, but I was not interested into that and so many things. Like somehow, that like I cleared that off. So then now if I see that, like maybe whatever my previous karma or whatever, like if I had been to that college and get into that stream, so maybe I would have ended being successful and maybe cooking non-veg and maybe even killing a cow or anything. Because I have one friend in London, he stays and he was my childhood friend and he's into hotel management. And when I was in Belfast that time, while going back to India, he had called me and I checked with him what he's doing and he did hotel management and he had his own hotel and I got an idea that he's into all his animal killing on a daily basis and so many things. So the same thing, that somehow Paramatma intervened and helped me. So whatever it may be, my previous karma or his previous karma. So the Lord is always there to, help us to come back to his abode or just to stop our sinful activities. But then, like everybody else of us, as maybe in childhood we stole somebody's pencil or pen or like, I don't know how they deal over here, but in India we have this set of benches lying and we are maybe two boys sit on the same table and two girls sit separately like that. And sometimes he brings a rubber which smells very nicely and we think, oh, I should also have that. And somebody steals that rubber and so, but first time when we steal something or first time when we do something wrong, first time a man, he's into married life and he's trying to get into illicit relationship or a woman, that time lot of fear is in his mind, So that time the Paramatma, he's trying to tell the Jiva that don't do this act. Like first time he stole a rubber. Like Osama bin Laden, first time he must have hit somebody. That time he must have feared, they'll come and beat me. Or first time if you have stolen something, you try to hide here, you try to hide there, and you change places, and so many things happen. But then there is this voice coming from inside, that is telling us not to do these things. Don't do this thing. But then what happens? We say, only for this time. That time the sound is very clear. But next time again he attempts to do that thing. Maybe steal something or, go further. Like he has slapped, for example, Obama bin Laden. He must have slapped some person. Later, next time he got into a big fight. He said, okay, nobody is against me. Then some people approach him. So second time also he was into little fear, but he has somebody to protect. So third time also he did, 4 times, 10 times. Then one day he killed somebody. Isn't it? Or one day he did some big robbery. Isn't it? A robber, how he robs. Like we have seen, there are big cases in India or in the West also, where the bank is in the opposite side of the road and the robber, he makes a underground path to go to that and get the money and everything he does. So, but it started from that small stealing or that small slapping somebody. Isn't it? So, the Paramatma was always with you, trying to help you, to not get into that act. But then you were adamant, or you are not listening to, his guidance. So he's not partial. That's what, he's partial to his devotees one way we say, but then it is partial because it's like if you are two brothers, and if you are listening to what your father is saying, if you are obedient to him, naturally it's natural for him to be affectionate towards you. He has affection for that son also. So similarly, jivas who are adamant, who don't want to follow the will of the Lord, then slowly, the Paramatma, we see that this terrorist bin Laden, he had killed so many people, or one person called Kasab, he came in India and at the railway station he started shooting everybody. Yeah, later they attacked Taj Hotel also and so many things. But then, some sane things he should speak in the jail, like that makes sense that he's saintly, but his activities are not there, isn't it? Because he got influenced by many other people, but then first time if you would have given this ear to the Paramatma that not to do this foolish activity of getting into fights or doing some killing or anything, you would not get into such a bad stage. So all the time the Paramatma is there to facilitate you or to guide you. So, but the body is a tool that you are using, and material nature facilitates that because it's your desire. So according to that we act in different modes. Like every day we get different items to eat in prasadam. So somebody likes to have curd, somebody likes to have salty things, somebody takes sweets, isn't it? So that all is been presented to you, but then, whatever you are eating or whatever your nature is there, according to that you will choose. Like somebody may not like this, some stuff in eating, and somebody may like it so much. Because that is again according to his nature, that he has formed not in one lifetime, but many, many lifetimes. Why are you not able to, if everybody knows his nature, at least he should know. As devotees, we may hide it from others, like in front of others we may be like super sattoguna, a pakka bhakta, paying obeisances, and yes Prabhu, and so many things we may be doing. But then, what we are internally, we all know. Whether we are a bhakta in the mode of goodness or passion, or we are ignorant in the mode of ignorance, we know. So, like as a devotee, at least you are getting to know this thing, that you are in this mode. And then slowly, gradually, like if you are in the mode of passion, then you have this chance to get enlightened with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and you can rise above that. You are lazy. That means you are in the mode of ignorance, or you are like to do things in a rushing way at the last hour, isn't it? So you are in the mode of passion. You like very spicy things, tangy, tamarind chutney you will take like as if it is water. But we daily sing this. What is? Vacho vega mansa vega udarupasya vegana etana vegana yo visheda. What is it? Vacho vega mansa vega udarupasya vegana etana vegana yo visheda. So, daily we read that, but if you read the explanation, there Prabhupada is saying that we should not have so much of spice. And yesterday somebody shared this on the Sankirtan group, and that, I don't know, that devotee, maybe Prabhupada is saying that, maybe Giri Prabhu is saying that you eat a lot of, means this tomato chutney and this thing, so, or very spicy we eat. So, this is given in the first verse explanation that this thing should not be eaten. But then we are like, we are so much tied to the tongue or so much. So This control should be there. We know that this is not healthy for us, so we should avoid that. So that knowledge Krishna can give us, but that action we have to take. So the different natures will form according to that. Then if we get into this habit, like India, we see so many people, evening they want some pani puri stall is it's filled with people. In Gujarat we see evening they eat pani puri, bhel puri, all has tamarind, then some tangy spices are there, so many things are there. Once in a while it is good. But then this all foods, all things, all association that we are taking, that is forming our nature. So we should be very careful. I know, or you know, or anybody knows that, okay, during japa I feel sleepy, so let's walk fast, or we can just get up and go in the cold, or just bring some interaction in your body, drink water in between. As in, then, or just walk around or be with devotees and don't go in a corner, isn't it? So, actions we have to take. And we should not see that any devotee who is pointing us that this is the way you should, this is your nature, but you should act in this way. We should not see him as an enemy. He is your biggest well-wisher, isn't it? But then if you don't want to act, he will also tell, because the Paramatma will guide him, okay, you have told him enough, that he wants to act according to his free will, let him do. So then he will dissociate himself from that devotee. Many people in India, they appreciate Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. But because he's strict with scriptural teachings, strict with rules, strict with the regulations, they appreciate him, but they don't want to follow. That's the reason, there are so many people opposing him also. In India, in the West, we see so many people are there. So whoever is going to speak truth, whoever is going to tell you, this is not good for you, that person, will have the biggest enemies. Yeah, Prabhupada also is condemned so many by this Ramakrishna people, they condemn him. They speak ill against him. Because Prabhupada said that even you want to pass stool, don't go into Belur Math. So Belur Math is the headquarters in West Bengal of the Ramakrishna Math. So he said, because they are speaking all nonsense. This Swami Vivekananda is saying that better to play football rather than reading Bhagavad Gita. But in India they worship him. So then they are abusive. They have made Facebook pages where Prabhupada is treated like a demon. Or people don't understand sometimes what Prabhupada said, and then, they are in disagreement, but then your disagreement is because you are not trying to understand what he's saying. So, like we see that with regards to this, people in the material world going to the moon, Prabhupada spoke many times, and some of his disciples left him. Or they differ that his knowledge of what he's speaking on the basis of scriptures, it differs, and so people they accept this modern science, and so they differ with what Prabhupada is saying or what he said in the scriptures. The thing is, we have to endure to understand that. There are so many people who have given up because they don't understand this thing. Like why there are changes happening, like why we see that slowly as time is going further, and we see that whatever the knowledge in Parampara Prabhupada gave, it is changing. This is, the knowledge in Parampara changes, just maybe I found two reasons, like either the Jiva, he doesn't want to accept what has been told, or he doesn't understand. Like example, there is one example when Guru Maharaj tells in one lecture that Prabhupada, like the renouncers, they act in two ways, Once they are like totally, they don't think anything of the body. Like big hairs can be there. We've seen many renouncers, they are practicing renouncers, they have big hair and big beard and so many things. And the other way, one is the one we follow, clean shaven, everything clean, super clean, everything like that, apart from the chika. So, there was this written, Prabhupada mentioned in some purport that you should be clean shaven and you should not get mustache and everything. So one of his editors, so he had this, this beard, in the West they keep. So Guru Maharaj, this is a lecture on Bhagavad Gita 4.1 or 2, Bhagavad Gita. So he was not ready to accept that, and Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj says that Prabhupada has mentioned that you should shave regularly, your head and your beard and everything. You should be super clean. So Guru Maharaj says he shaved the word shaving from the book. Means he removed that. And then if somebody is reading, what will happen? Because the point is he didn't accepted that. Or he was not able to understand that the two things, one of the two things. So that way the jiva, every stage he is, he is using his free will, and according to that, his activity is formed, and all his features are formed. If you are acting like a dog, naturally, this, who is this KFC owner, Captain Sanders, at the age of 65, he got this enlightenment to open, some recipe of making chicken, and now it's been sold under, and he is still getting the royalty. So if you see his facials, if you see most Muslims' features, I'm not against any Muslim, there are many who are practicing, they don't have this beard, this mustache, and if you see, it's like exactly meeting to a goat or some animal, the feature you see changing. Or if a man or woman is attached, their facials. So these features are happening because, they are doing activities that way. So then as next lifetime, if you become, say, goat who is to be honored and killed on the occasion of Bakri Eid, or maybe any other activities like that. So this is because he has acted according to that. So the point is, whatever nature's activities or form features we are getting, that is because of our own karma. So we should be very careful in our activities and in our association, in our understanding scriptural knowledge. If you don't understand, better to get it, understood from somebody who knows that, who understands the scriptural injunctions in a better way, in a way which is aligned to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Because that's where, we are making a path for our future. So we have to be very careful in all these acts. Anyway, thank you. And if anybody has any questions, comments, doubts, any protests, they can tell.
In India, I also wanted to ask, they have this North Indians and this South Indians, and South Indians is completely black. This is North Indians. They also recognize them like sinful people or not? According to this, as much because I heard that even in India also the people is as much as you're white or this mean a more royal, is more respectable, and if you a little blackish, this more sinful or something. This, but North Indian, the South Indian is very big difference. This, almost sometimes it's almost white color. They also recognize them a sinful or not?
No, this normally in India this black-white differentiation is not so much, but then how this when Lord Macaulay, the British, when they came, they broke the old culture, and there this division that we see in Chaturvarna Maya Shushti, like Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that division, they base it as caste system. That was not according to caste, that was according to the qualities and the modes on which you are working. So then they told that, okay, you are being treated like a Shudra, and they are acting like Brahmanas, they are higher than you, they don't. And some caste Goswamis or some Brahmanas, so-called Brahmanas, they also do the activities, few of them. That are few of them, out of 10, you can say 9 were doing, means acting according to scripture, 1 where I was acting according to, his own whims or being puffed up. And then on top of that, the British spread his fire that they are mistreating you as a Shudra. But as a Shudra, he has to serve all these three other classes. So then they told that you are same human beings, but then he's treating you according to your birth. Like you are born in a low family, and so he's treating you like that. And so this caste system is not good. And then slowly this varnashram, people started, like many people don't have good idea of varnashram. Specifically the Buddhists in India, they feel that it's differentiation or mistreatment to them, because they are mistreated. They, like at some places they were not allowed in wells, or they were not allowed in temples. Like some people did, not everybody. But then it became like this spark was ignited by the British, and then slowly it's like this differentiation happened. So black and white, this differentiation is not so much. Like South Indians, North Indians, if you see in Mumbai, everybody works together and so much things. But then this differentiation happened, like this higher, lower, like I'm a Brahmin, like you are a Shudra, or you are like in Haryana they say we are Kshatriyas. So like that differentiation, but they don't on this level of color, it's not so much. But according to nowadays, like where you are born and how, of course that activities that acts on the jiva, where he's born, how he's acting. But then not on the basis of color they differentiate. Like here in the West, there is differentiation between black and white. We see this fights happening, but then there is a different way of differentiation happening, like on the basis of language or which area you are. So this different. Like if you go to Gujarat, Maharashtrian goes to Gujarat, then he has to have a lower hand there. Means, of course, if you are established, then it's not problem for you. But then not so much. Still they cooperate. Like I stayed in Baroda, I stayed in South India. But South Indians' nature and North Indian differs. Like North Indians, I say, they are like Kshatriyas. They are Kshatriyas. Where was this Kurukshetra? Near Delhi. Isn't it? Or Delhi. That was itself. So, or Haryana, all this place, UP. Like this current CM of UP is Adi Yoginath, his name is. So he's kind of a Kshatriya kind of, he wears the saffron clothes even in the cabinet, in the parliament, and lot of, sinful activities that were happening, that close. Because he is of that nature. But South Indians, they are more of Brahminical nature. We'll see Shaivites, we see worshipper of Vishnu, and lot of temples we see in South India. So if you see, like, if you go to Patel brothers, or Charanjit Prabhu can tell, most of the South Indians immediately they take, isn't it? Gujaratis, they'll say, che, we have. Because they are business minded. They will not take prasad from you. You say, Guru prasad. They'll say, theek hai. And they'll go. Because no, they know we take prasad, he'll ask something. So that Vaishya Sabha is working behind. So, like that, differentiation is there. According to the qualities. I gave examples like North Indians, immediately they will pull a gun and shoot. But South Indians, well said, leave it. They'll walk away. Why to waste time? Like that. Okay. Anybody else has any question? Okay. Yeah, David.
Can you speak a little about the Diwali? I think Chandan asked to speak a little on the Diwali, today's Diwali.
Oh, Diwali? I never know.
Deepavali?
Yeah, we'll go to that. Of course, if anybody has question over here, after that I'll get to it. Anybody has question over here, apart from, like, that is. Any Matajis? Yeah. Mic, please.
You were making this point about how Paramatma, like, guides us, especially when we're doing certain things. And I mean, it's easy to see, like in moral situations, like if you're going to rob a bank, of course that fear comes that she shouldn't do it. But then sometimes, like in more subtle engagements, like amongst devotees or in our devotional service, and we're under like certain modes of material nature, it's kind of like the mind and senses get bewildered by that, and it's not so easy to like hear or understand like Paramatma's guidance. And so what is one to do, to be able to understand like the proper way of going about it, our actions?
Yeah, very good question. So the point is, like you say that we are under some modes according to which we are acting, and the like Paramatma guides. But then, because of being in the modes for so long, we are not able to do that. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, or like you're so bewildered you can't really hear Paramatma or like see Paramatma's guidance so clearly.
Yeah. So I of course answered this in the lecture. I'll just repeat it again. Like I gave this example, of somebody stealing. He started it doing on a very small scale, maybe just stealing one food item, or maybe somebody's pen or pencil or anything, some 10 rupees, 5 rupee note, $5, isn't it? He started there, and one day he became a big robber. So every moment Paramatma was guiding him, isn't it? Not to do these activities in the first case itself. Yeah? First time you do this illicit activity or some wrong activity, which is going to take you on a very long pathway. I gave this Ajamil's example also, that Ajamil, if he had used his knowledge there and acted, but then his knowledge was not strong enough, because maybe whatever activities he is doing, he did in spiritual life, that he was not doing maybe according to scriptures, or he was not doing the way he should have done. So the Paramatma is guiding us, but then how long we are going to go on with this, We were like, this is Kali Yuga happening, isn't it? So this is Kali Yuga. So we have been in Satyuga, Treta, Dwapar, and now Kali Yuga. We all know Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years, and twice of that is Dwapar, thrice of that is Treta, and 4 times of that is Satyuga. So now from Satyuga till Kali Yuga we have come. So everybody of us, maybe me also, like I have some afflictions that I have been carrying for so many lifetimes. Satyuga you lived for 1 lakh years around. Now Kali Yuga is 100 years, it's written. Treta it was 10,000, and then it's Dwapar, it's 1,000. So many lifetimes, so many species we have gone, and still we are not listening to Paramatma. So we should force here to our mind by our intelligence, that at least in this lifetime, Prabhupada always says that don't come back again. So if you want to start the cycle of birth and death, or if you feel that this material world is troublesome, then we have to find a pathway to move out of that. If this is a 10-story building, and if somebody is set on fire or it's on fire, what would you do? Will you stay there? Okay, if you are somehow you feel that by jumping I may break my legs, you are on the 4th floor or 5th floor, by jumping I may break my legs, that time you will not be, okay, I should stay here only, being safely, somehow or other somebody will save me. That endure you have to do. Because you have not given ears to Paramatma when he was trying to tell you. So now, somehow or other he is trying to tell you. So somebody is saying, you jump, some way or other, or they are laying this net, but he is scared to, or he is not listening to, then whose fault is that? It is the jiva that he has to use, he has to jump. I have seen one video of, there was a fire in a class in Surat, in India. And people, girls or women, they will not jump from this stage or from this height also. Do you agree with me? But from 4th floor I have seen a woman jumping because of fire. So that sense of urgency that woman had, that we should have, that why I should be stagnant. Satyuga I didn't listen to the Lord, Treta Yuga I didn't listen to the Lord, Dwapar Yuga has come and now Kali Yuga is giving me chance. How long we will be doing that? This one life we have to, somehow or other make it happen. I know it's not our nature. But somehow if we try to mold, rather than material nature molding us, if we mold, because material nature will mold us or make us bend, it will be very difficult for us to, disagree. One day death is going to come. When death comes on that day, you can't say, okay, I don't want death. It is going to come. So, either this way or either that way, it is going to material nature, or you have to surrender. Why not now? So this is the where we have to apply all this knowledge that we are listening. This Bhagavatam class is not some spiritual entertainment. That daily we are listening, oh, nice class, nice thing, something is useful. But then you have to apply that. Kalki Prabhu told day before yesterday that you should apply that, and you can, some habits you should cultivate or some things you should be doing that. So at least from that, like I may tell or somebody else may tell that you do this thing, surrender to the Lord or act, that will facilitate you to come out of the modes. But at least 0.1% if you start with that, okay, let me do this act. 10 acts I can't do, at least 9, out of 10 I can't do 9 acts to surrender to the higher mode. At least 1 act I can start with, yes or no? So, like some foods are there, some association is there, some things are that we should correct in ourselves. It's for everybody, not for you, just not for your question or anything. Like everybody is in some modes, they know themselves. I may hide, I told in the class. So then that action, someday you have to surrender. If you don't surrender this lifetime, again punarapi janma, punarapi marna, punarapi jatrishan. Again you have to come in the womb. Again the same issue will be there. Again the same people will be there around you. Again the whole material world will be there. But this is stamped. Dukkhalama shashvatam. Then what you are expecting from that? That everything will be a smooth ride. It's not going to happen. You go from here to ashram and there is not a bed of roses been laid by anybody for you. You have to wear the footwear if you want to get your feet protected. That time you use your intelligence, isn't it? So that same intelligence we have to apply. Okay, this has been told by Krishna. That's the reason we should read Prabhupada books. If you listen, at least I say 0.1%, 0.01%, at least you apply and it will work. And pray to Guru and Krishna that I am struggling with this, please help me. But he will help. He said, I am giving this help by this way to change you. But then you have to accept. It's not so easy to cross the modes. Like if I am from a Kshatriya background, I know I am in a mode of passion. So to come out of that, I have to do some activities that are in a mode of goodness. Some association I should get which is in a mode of goodness. And Guru and Krishna does that. I am a very fickle-minded person, but Guru Maharaj sent me to Belfast and Innisfree Island. I was in the island, only 3 people staying in the island, one of which was me. And I was forced to be, I so fickle, Even in chanting, previously I used to walk so much. Now I am not able to walk. But then, that time Guru Maharaj sent me, and 7 months I was not out of the island. So Krishna told me, you have to change your nature. But who changed that nature? Guru and Krishna. Guru changed that. So via his representatives or via him, via the spiritual master will tell or his representative will tell, somehow or other if you give ear to them, then this is going to change. Krishna will arrange that circumstance, but then it's up to us, that we have to accept that circumstance and act the way he wants us to. Then we will come out of this, because these modes are formed of the association you are taking, the food you are eating, the time you are sleeping, the time you are getting up, the way you evacuate, the way you are dealing with situation on a day-to-day basis. Everywhere it is acting. The association you are taking. We know, all of us, like we like some certain association very much. So that is going to make our nature. So every moment there is this interaction. Paramatma is guiding us, but then we have to open up. Sometimes in this, in our washrooms or in bathroom, it's like something is clogged. What do? You let the clog happen, and some things will work up automatically. It will not happen. You have to remove that lid, remove that clog, take this and remove the dirt so that the water passes. Similarly, this ignorance is clogged in our hearts for so long, from Satyug till Kalyug. So we have to just, we have to apply knowledge and act, start acting. Then things will be helpful for us. Does it help? Yeah? So point not one person. Try taking from whatever you got that benefits you. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. David Prabhu was telling. Shall we end it? Diwali. Shall we have it on the prasadam? I'll sit next to you and just try to tell you, Because, see, that was significance for her in her spiritual life. This, already I shared with many of them. I can just share with you also, or maybe others also. Okay? Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Shri Prabhupada.